No matter what type of relationship you want to restore, whether it's intimate, family, friendship, professional, or especially your relationship with God, the truth is, you're stuck because you keep repeating the same mistakes. You want things to get better, but you're not willing to do what it takes to fix the mess. Relationships don't fix themselves, and it's not enough to just pray or hope that everything will miraculously work out. It won't happen. You need to act and take control of the situation. Now let me be extremely clear with you. If you want to restore your relationship, you need to face reality, and the reality is that you need to change. Yes, you, because change begins with the one who is aware of the problem. Broken relationships only get restored when someone makes the courageous decision to do what needs to be done. And God, in His wisdom, has already given us the map for this. There are 7 biblical steps, and today I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. These 7 steps cut straight to the point, no excuses. They work for any kind of relationship, with your spouse, friends, family, colleagues, and most importantly, with God. If you follow these steps, I guarantee you that restoration will happen. Now, the question is, are you willing to do what's necessary? Step 1. Turn to God first. Here's the mistake most people make. When the relationship falls apart, what do? You run to vent to your friends, ask for advice from anyone, or even turn to social media looking for wisdom. You're doing it all wrong. Before anything else, you need to turn to God. David, in all his conflicts, vented to God first. Look at what he says in Psalm 13. How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? David didn't seek human advice before presenting himself to God. He vented and sought direction from God. Do you do that? Or do you run to talk to everyone else before talking to God? If you want to restore any relationship, you need to stop putting your faith in people who are often as lost as you are. God is the source of wisdom you need. When you seek God first, He gives you discernment, patience, and clarity to handle the situation the right way. So, stop running to people and run to God. Step 2. Take the initiative. Let's get straight to the point. Are you waiting for the other person to make the first move? That's pure arrogance disguised as passivity. Do you know what Jesus said? If you have something against your brother or know that your brother has something against you, you must go and reconcile with him before doing anything else. Matthew 5:23-24 says, Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and they remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First, go and be reconciled to them. Jesus was very clear. Don't wait for the other person to make the first move. You need to be the one to act first. If you're waiting for the other person to come to you, to take the step, to apologize, you're waiting in vain. And do you know what that is? Pride. Pure pride. And pride only destroys. Relationships are restored when someone has the courage to lower their head and take the initiative. So swallow your pride and be the first to act. Change begins with the person who decides to reconcile. Step 3. Show that you care about the other person's feelings. Have you stopped to think that in the midst of all this conflict, you're only thinking about how you feel? Every time you try to reconcile, you focus on how hurt you were, how much you're suffering, and you completely ignore what the other person is feeling. That's pure selfishness. Philippians 2:4 says, Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. If you truly want to restore a relationship, you need to show empathy. You need to put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you want genuine reconciliation, the focus can't just be on your feelings. You need to understand the pain on the other side. Show that you care about what the other person is feeling. This changes everything because when you show empathy, the other person opens up to dialogue and reconciliation. Step 4. Own your part. Here's one of the biggest problems in relationships. You're more concerned with blaming the other person than owning your own mistakes. Jesus warns us in Matthew 7:5. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do you know what that means? Before pointing out the other person's faults, You need to recognize and own your own mistakes. Do you know what happens when you acknowledge your part in the problem? The other person feels more secure, less defensive. Reconciliation only happens when there's humility on both sides, and it all starts with you acknowledging where you went wrong. If you don't have the courage to admit your faults, the relationship will remain stuck. So, be humble, stop trying to win the argument, and take responsibility for your mistakes. Step 5. Stop blaming the other person. Let me be even clearer. Stop trying to blame the other person for what happened. That won't get you anywhere. If you keep pointing fingers, the conversation will never progress. Proverbs 16:24 teaches us that gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Choosing the right words during reconciliation is crucial. If you go into a conversation already pointing fingers, the situation will only get worse. When the focus is on solving the problem, not on finding fault, the chances of success are much higher. Stop being stuck on who made the bigger mistake. That's completely irrelevant. What matters is resolving the problem and moving forward. Focus on the solution, not the blame. Step 6. Put in the effort and cooperate. Are you waiting for the other person to change, to put in the effort, to fix things? Know that you need to cooperate. Jesus teaches us in Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Peacemakers don't wait for the other person to do the work. Peacemakers are the ones who take the initiative, who put in the effort, who put the other person's well-being first. Are you willing to do that? Cooperating means stepping out of your comfort zone, sacrificing your pride, and doing whatever is necessary to ensure peace prevails. If you keep thinking only about what you want, what's best for you, the relationship won't be restored. The key is showing that you're willing to sacrifice for the other person's well-being. Step 7. Focus on reconciliation, not the problem. Here's the truth. Problems will continue to exist. There will always be disagreements, misunderstandings, and issues to work out. But the focus, during reconciliation, should be on restoring the relationship, not on trying to solve all the problems. 1 Peter 3:11 teaches us, they must seek peace and pursue it. This means that peace should be prioritized above everything else. Many times you want to solve everything all at once. You think that if the problem isn't resolved immediately, the relationship can't move forward. That's a huge illusion. The problems will still exist, but the most important thing is that the relationship is restored. When there's reconciliation, you can learn to deal with differences in a peaceful way. The focus is on reconciliation, not fixing everything at once. Now that you know these 7 steps, the question is, will you keep waiting for the other person to change? Or will you take the decision to act right now? Relationships don't restore themselves. Restoration is within your reach, but only if you decide to follow these steps and act with humility, courage, and love. The choice is yours.